So when you have when you play final teams, things need to go kind of like play in that way, right? So the problem is how much of and are you have
Star Wars Legionnaire players, please want you to come by and check in if you have not already. We are currently missing Alex Young, Daniel Echo, Daniel Roberts, Davis Kingsley, Jesse Campbell, John Architect, Mark Miller, Butler, Robert Wang, Sean Tracy, and Zach White. If I called your name, you're here. Please come check in the desk. Otherwise, we're going to knock you off the list.
Yeah. Depending on like how your opponent designs their matchups or how you
Hey guys, Karnik Star Wars Armada Explained. We're here at LVO 2020. The top two final cut for the Grand Championship for here is going to be starting very shortly. Both players have their fleets set out. Players are here, fleets are here. Everything is getting ready to get going. I have a couple more things to set up, and yeah. So I'll come back here in just a moment. Hey, Boba. Or not Boba. Sam. Jesus.
I might be biased, but I think unfortunately, it makes the game not great for players. It's on the experienced player to shepherd the player is very nice.
Don't worry. My friends will recognize what they are.
Alright, so basically whenever you guys are ready to slow down and get this party started.
I mean, if I have a new match for the player scale, like I see, those something that he's like,
Go for it.
because if you don't trust him, never else. And they just five, 6 rounds. They're like, I mean, you see me shot 4 times out of myself.
It's like
Star Wars Legendary players, we're just doing a quick count of the sides, the light and dark sides. If you did come in and add yourself to the wait list, you have been added. We did use all wait listers, so if you came in on wait list, you probably haven't added. If you have not come checked in with the computer, please make sure you do, so we can capture you and get you started this morning. We'll start a couple minutes past 9. I'll do a quick player brief, and then we'll start rolling dice.
What are we exposing the body?
All right, guys. So they're starting to got their bids and things out here. I'm gonna go over fleets here while they're doing that. So, actually, I'm still getting my laptop set up. Be right back. 1 second. All right. Yep, set up and going. All right, everyone. I'm Karnak, Star Wars Armada Explained. We see here that the players are set up. They're starting their deployment. I'm going to go check and see what objective was chosen. And I'll come back with the fleets and see what's going on. But on the left, we've got Sam Simpson, and on the right, we've got Michael Dunn. They're the top first and second player, respectively. There was no cut to round robin or Swiss. This is a final matchup between two. Essentially, whoever has the most points at the end of the rounds or game time is declared the winner. These players have 3 hours for their play, so more than a standard game. Shouldn't take nearly that long to determine what's going on. Let me go see what objective they're playing. All right, so asteroid.
Can you see the round counter on the screen?
Don't worry about it.
Just pull me aside.
So Michael on the right is first player. He has chosen Sam's Asteroid Tactics. There on the left, Sam will be second. So let's talk about the lists. We've got 4 on the right. Michael's list, his fleet name is called JJ Smash with Cricket. It is a 379 point list, so he absolutely had the bid. He has the ISD Kuat refit, Moff Jerjerrod, Strategic Advisor, the Darth Vader Officer, which is able to be used for rerolls, electronic countermeasures, leading shots, assault concussion missiles, Chimera, and it starts with entrapment formation. His other ships is he's got a Gladiator 1 with a standard demolisher kit, Captain Burnson, ordnance experts, engine techs, assault concussion missiles, demolisher. He has an Archidans with Director Krennic and slave turrets, Gazanti with Hondo Anaka and Comsnet, and a regular Gazanti with Comsnet. No squadron, so a completely squadronless list. The Rebel player, surprisingly, in a change of events with new Radis, he's flying an Assault Frigate Mark II. And he's got Radis on there, Gallant Haven, Torin Far, Advanced, Transponder Net, a card we haven't really seen in competitive play so far, Electronic Countermeasures, Link Turbo Laser Towers. He's got a Star Cruiser, which I assume that's what Radis is going to be tucking into hyperspace, Muncarin, Lando Covering Officer, Caitlin and Sholin, Heavy Ion emplacements. He's got a GR-75 of Bomber Command Center, and a Squadron Ball is 3 X-Wings, Janors, Dutch Vander, Rogue Squadron, and 2 Lancer-class pursuit crafts. You see there the players are asteroid tactics, so the asteroids there are, he's got them spread out on a line for him. Now, asteroid tactics, this objective is the second player, which again is on the left. He could place all the obstacles. So Sam has chosen to place all the obstacles, kind of screening his forces there. Now, he also can put down exogorphs at the end of the round, touching one of the obstacles. So Andy, he does have the physical model for the Liberty, and yes, he's chosen to replace it with the Venator model. He asked beforehand if this was okay. The judge said yes, this is fine, and that is something we do allow in Star Wars Armada. Is that if you do bring custom models, we absolutely will allow you to fly it as long as you also brought the original model. Because if an opponent says, "Hey, I'm not okay with it," you'll need to switch it out. But at almost any Fantasy Flight event I've ever attended, that I've never seen anyone ever really throw a fit over it. It's just as long as you have the original model to prove that you own the ship that you're bringing. Totally cool to bring these custom models. In fact, a lot of the FFG employees I've talked to really like seeing the cool, unique models that can be brought. Let's talk about the list a little bit. So JJ Smash.
Star Wars Legion narrative event players. If I have a dark side player that is willing to play light side, can you come see the desk if you have a light side on you? Again, if you're a dark side player, you are not roused and I have you down as a rebel. That can switch to the light side. Please talk to me real quick. If not, we'll just pick somebody to be a mercenary and swing on over to the light side.
Yeah, if I was smart and remembered to bring my awesome headset, I wouldn't have to worry about loud announcer man on the microphone. But that's all right. I didn't expect
Also, if any dark side
to
want to take that forward for me, please come up and see me as well.
to do it. So let's talk about some of the lists. So some of the reason why Michael on the right had some great success with his list is that Chimera is very flexible. The Darth Vader is not the Darth Vader officer. It is the boarding team Vader. So what's unique about this co-op build, and something that I have in my own fleet, is that it is very, very good at killing large ships. Because most large ships rely on electronic countermeasures to be able to free an accuracy locked brace, tank like a big shot coming their way, and then kind of tug along like nothing's happened. What the Darth Vader boarding team can do, especially if you have first players, you activate first, you rip off those ECMs. If you've got that sweet double arc lined up, you absolutely can blow up a large ship in one activation with double arc, especially with those assault concussion missiles. And what's great about Chimera is he can switch between what he needs for his flexibility. Does he need to race forward ahead with entrapment formation? Maybe he needs the extra yaw click with take evasive action. Maybe he needs to ensure he's getting firepower on a target. He can do intensified firepower. So, and he's got the comms nets to accomplish all this, all these tokens for any of his needs. He has, essentially 3, 4, 5, 6 activations because of the strategic advisor officer on his Kuat. So he's always going to be going last. And in this situation, the pressure is absolutely going to be on Michael to approach Sam's fleet, because Sam is really kind of tucking himself in a nice little safety net there. It's going to force Michael to try to figure out how he's going to approach. And again, with Sam having Radis, which new Radis now can drop only from the command ship Radis is equipped to, but it's at distance 1 to 2 from the command ship now instead of the old at distance 1. That is a huge range, especially something like a Moncarin Liberty that really wants to get dropped into those juicy side arcs, which, I'm going to be honest with you here, folks, even though Sam is out activated, that doesn't matter. All he has to do is wait for the Imperial to get close enough. He'll trigger and drop the Star Cruiser. and drop that into a side arc. And I definitely feel like he's going to drop that into a side arc of like Demolisher or his Kuat, and he's going to force him to make decisions on what has to get activated first, which hopefully will allow his Assault Frigate to escape. The Demolisher definitely can chase down the Assault Frigate, though. So it's really going to be a interesting set of tactics from both sides. I honestly can't tell you who's going to come out on top. It's just going to be very bloody. So good to see that both players kind of line up wanting to fight and engage and not run away. This kind of top cut format kind of sometimes will encourage players to not combat each other. So there's a handshake and they're off.
All right, for my Legionnaire players, first of all, thank you again for making this event happen. I know it's super hard to go to an event on Sunday at the end of a 3-day convention, especially those of you who played on Friday. However, we did have 30 out of 32, which is much better than I expected for an event at the end of a weekend like this. That's fantastic. This side event is bigger than people's main event, so good job. As far as the narrative event is concerned, I know the player packet and the details I initially released were very thin. That's because we had a lot of stuff we wanted to test, and so we did release some stuff over this last week on the main Facebook group. If you did not see that, then I want to make sure I explain it for everybody that is here. There are 4 different missions that you're going to be playing over the course of the day. You're going to be playing 2 rounds. Play round 1, take a quick break while we reshuffle some stuff, and then round 2, there is no lunch. We're playing, and then we're done, so y'all go home. You're going to be playing light side versus dark side. Please make sure that your opponent is either a light side or a dark side army, depending on which one you want it to be. All of the light side players are going to be playing on the wall side. So if your table is on, when you go to your table rather, you are on the wall side. All dark players are on the aisle side. So the side is pre-designated. The deployment, condition, and objective are all pre-designated as well. Both games today will be battle lines with clear conditions. However, there will be GMs, currently myself and Ryan, who will be going around and putting conditions on the board during the game. So you may have conditions pop up at the beginning of the game. You may have a condition pop up in the middle of the game. And some of these conditions may not just affect your table, that you may be able to capture or affect something that helps a friend or hurts an opponent on another table. I said there would be 2 rounds. There is also a battle in space happening at the same time as this. You guys will see how that affects your game at the start of round 2. The goal here is to win for your side.
Just waiting for announcer man to shut up.
Total wins each side has at the end of the day. That will determine who is the
Shut up was rude. I mean, to finish concluding with his announcements.
Next year. So this is something that we'll build from year to year. There is no overarching narrative at the moment just because we wanted to test the system and see how it works. The narrative is what you players create today. The most interesting part of the narrative event, in my opinion, are the objectives. You'll notice a special objective on each table: the asset, propaganda warfare, new intel, and probe droid. You'll read the cards and understand the objectives, so I'm not going to explain them all now. However, there are a couple objectives that do have a couple tweaks we made to make them work for this event. For example, in the propaganda warfare mission, the Jar Jar statues are the pieces you have to tag. So we'll make sure we come by and explain that to you as we do your setup. But the tables are currently grouped in biomes, as you probably saw. Each biome is playing the same mission. So if you have any questions on your mission, you can talk to the people around you because they're probably playing the same thing as you, or at least they should be. Pairings have been released on TTO, and we're going to put them up on the screen right now as well, but we're going to only keep them up for a brief moment because we do want to give the time to the main event. We will also be keeping track of time on TTO because the TB is regulated to the main event. So please keep an eye on the time on your phones or ask myself or a GM and we can help you out. Please go ahead and find your tables. Time will start at 9:20. Time will start at 9:20.
Oh my gosh, he's finally done. Okay, so what's on the line for the prize? Well, all the prizes were handed out yesterday except for one. If you were here at the start, you saw that there was like a big black die in the middle of the table. That is the that's the first prize for winning that's what they're playing for. It's a 8-sided, just giant black die. It's not legal for Armada play. It's just for aesthetics, but it's a pretty cool little interesting trophy. We see here the players have been slowly just maneuvering their ship, range checking, just seeing how things are going to go. Again, for Michael on the right being first player, Sam is second player on the left. We're playing asteroid tactics. Now, Sam has a bunch of rogues, and I mean, they're pretty high health. We got, well, Lancers and a rogue squadron. So, that's 3 squadrons with rogue that are going to be able to pop around and start trying to soften up some targets. I didn't really win anything. I won just a participation prize, which is totally fine. I did not. Grand Moff Tarkin did not fail me. I failed Grand Moff Tarkin. I just made mistakes throughout the day, and that's just our mana. We see here it's the squadron phase. Doing some squadron attacks there. Looks like there was a damage done by Rogue Squadron there. Lancers are coming up. And another damage gone in. Yes, Andy, it is definitely important to remember the cards you have equipped to your ships. Often, to try to address some mistakes like that, is you really need to play and practice one fleet consistently, weeks, months on end. Like I've been prepping for this for the last 3 months, a lot of practice. And, definitely remembering card interactions and all that can be very difficult, but you just have to try to do the best you can to try to remember it and play to the best of your ability. If nothing else, you walk away with understanding the game a little bit better and just getting better and improving yourself. Armada definitely is a game that requires a lot of mental thinking and planning, which is why I really enjoy it. Participation prize this year was just a blue and red copy of an ISD2 and an MC80 Home 1 variant. Nearing the end of round 1 here. He's just finishing up his squadron movement. Yeah, Andy, I hear you. Where I live, there is no Armada. I have to drive 3 hours one way to play somebody, and then I drive 3 hours back home. So I absolutely get that. Germany and the area, like Germany and Poland, actually have really large Armada presence. So does Spain, Italy. I think France has a bit. UK has a bit. But I'm not aware of anything like in Luxembourg or Belgium. We see there that the end of round 1 is wrapping up here. Just finishing moving the last bit of the squadrons. So now what's interesting, I'm going to be trying to guess when I think Michael is going to be doing his engagement. It definitely looks like Michael has established himself that he's just going to face tank whatever is going to get tossed at him in round 2. I think Michael has done a little bit, potentially maybe a little bit of a misplay. He's got his Star Destroyer's side arc really exposed there for the Liberty drop. if Radis decides to drop. But you see there in the bottom, we've got an Arcanins lined up, ready to protect the side. We've got Demolisher ready to pounce. Between a side arc of a ISD and the Gladiator and the Arcanins, I really do think that's enough firepower that if Sam decides to drop right now into that side arc, it potentially will kill that Liberty. I don't think that Liberty will have anywhere to go. And I think, I initially said I think Michael may have misplayed. Actually, I think he's done brilliant now that I look at it. He's trying to invite the drop right now so he can capitalize on the Liberty not being able to get anywhere. Now, it's potential the Liberty just might drop and just scoop up that tail end of the Gazanti and the Arcadins, which a Liberty absolutely can do. And if you're looking to just score points and just avoid the engagement, he can do that. Because the assault frigate is not in any danger right now, and I don't think it's ever going to be in any danger. The assault frigate is. Oh, right. So the assault frigate has Radis on it. So that transport, I forgot. We got new Radis going on. I have to remember to switch my thinking. So new Radis, you can only drop off the capital ship, which is the assault frigate there on the left, which is the Venator. Or not the Venator, it is assault frigate. The Venator is off the table, which is the Liberty. Oh my gosh, I'll get there, I swear. And yeah, with the Lancers and the Rogue Squadron, and he's kind of putting his other squadrons to try to get overlapped so he can put them where he wants. And yes, the new Radis rule is in effect. My apologies. So, right, the transport you won't be able to drop off the transport. So, yeah, so definitely do not believe we'll see a Radis drop at start of round 2, maybe round 3, maybe round 4. Sorry for a little bit of the pixelation of the quality. Yesterday I was streaming pretty clearly, but for some reason today it's not. Alright, they're just doing some measurements, some range checking. The GR-75 is in medium range to be able to activate 2 squadrons, such as the generic X-Wings or Dutch Vander. So that Star Destroyer is definitely going to take, more squadron damage. Of course, those Lancers only have 4 health. They can get flaked down very, very quickly. Especially from the Star Destroyer Kuat. And if he wants to, he could bring Demolisher up and use one of the Demolisher, the Demolisher attack to also throw more flak at those squadrons and just kind of chew them apart. Those Lancers really can only engage for a round or 2, and then they're up too low of health, they get popped off. But Sam might just commit those bombers and squadrons to just die to deal as much damage as they can, so it softens up the ISD, so he can drop on it to pick it off and kill it. But we'll have to see as the game progresses. There's not enough information for me to be able to tell kind of what the strategy is going to be for either player right now.
Tori is in the room. Kayla, your opponent is waiting for you. Your opponent is waiting for you. We don't want Richard to be all by himself with his thoughts. It's not good. It's not good.
So plinking a few more damage in on that Star Destroyer, that's what he needs. He needs to soften that target up to try to threaten that Star Destroyer just to switch to repair commands. So we'll see. And I don't know, in terms of like what's a viable drop target, depends. If that ISD is throwing out navigation commands, new Radis, he might want to drop on the Star Destroyer, but really he really wants to drop on these smaller, juicier targets like Demolisher that he knows he can just blow apart in one shot. He wants to drop on like the Arcadins. But you can see there the Gazandis and the Arcadins are trailing way far behind. He's not going to give Sam an opportunity to just drop on weak targets, pick one off, and then fly away. Again, it's just a top cut of 2. There's no Swiss. There's the clarity. It popped in finally. So it's just very careful play from both players. I'm going to go, after this attack, I'm going to go check out what the health of that Star Destroyer is. Alright, so the Star Destroyer has 0 shields on the right, 2 in the front, 2 on the left, and that was Sam's activation with his GR-75. He's taking something as a token there. I think it's a navigation token. Or no, CommsNet. Looks like a CommsNet, a navigation token there. Yes, it was a navigation token at CommsNet. Entrapment formation is in effect. Demolisher also has a navigation token. Gonna try to avoid bumping his ISD. Not a big deal. If he does, it's just a Gazanti. But I think it should be clear. It looks like it should be clear. Just taking the model off for ease of placement. And again, these players, they clawed their way through extremely tough matchups. Very good players. Definitely for LVO, lots and lots of really good, strong players were here. There were 2 SSDs, but neither of them did really well. Lots of other just really good players, lots of other unique, interesting fleets. Yeah, these guys are doing very careful measurements, very careful play. That's top table, that's top 1 and 2. You can see, and this is something that a lot of new players struggle with, is you can see that they're making quick, efficient measurements, movements. They know what they're doing. They're not sitting there, deliberating for minutes and minutes and minutes on end about what they're supposed to do. That's a difference between a skilled, experienced player compared to a newer player. And you might see even experienced players pause for maybe 2-3 minutes. And the reason why that happens is because, that is like a game-changing deliberation. Am I going to go after this target or kill this target, or what's going to happen? You really won't see many players pause for very long periods of time. It's only for, again, like this is going to be the game-breaking decision for stuff like that. We're not quite at a point like that where somebody's going to need to make a decision. You can see there's Sam turning his assault frigate a little bit. I think he's trying to bait that Star Destroyer to come after him. Now you'll see the assault frigate did land on the asteroid field, but we are playing asteroid tactics, and that means that he does not suffer any negative effects for overlapping asteroid fields. Now I do want to mention that the top 4 did get a Worlds Invites. If these players already had a Worlds Invite, they did get passed down to the next available player who did not have a Worlds Invite. And yeah, Clone Wars drops end of 2020 is what FFG said. We don't know what ships have been announced or what's coming yet. We just know that there is something coming. And yes, again, the objective is asteroid tactics. Doing some flak attacks here. Landing some damage. Again, he's got to be able to land the damage, at least on the Lancers. He's got to be able to push them off. They're being backed by Janor, so, they definitely can last through double damage. They can definitely hang in there for 2 to 3 rounds before needing to bounce away. What Michael really needs is additional flak support. He really needs Demolisher to kind of pop in and peg some extra damage on some of those squadrons as well, if possible. Otherwise, that Star Destroyer is going to get really, really softened up and weakened up for whenever Radis drops. You can see here that's Sam's strategy. He wants that Star Destroyer to get really softened up by squadrons before he drops on it. You see here Michael's trying to decide how he wants to engage Radis. He's thinking. One unique thing, while he's making some decisions here, I want to point out about Sam's list, the Radis player on our left. On his assault frigate, he's got an upgrade you don't see too often. That's the advanced transponder net. What this card does, it allows, if you have squadrons that are heavy, and enemy squadrons roll up on your ship, if you have anything engaged with the squadrons, it forces you to attack the heavy squadrons. Essentially, it's anti-intel tech. This card essentially prevents squadrons that are heavy from just getting bypassed. You have to attack the heavy squadrons. And Sam, in his climb to victory, he faced a ton of squadron-heavy builds that wanted to come bomb his Admiral Radis ship, but couldn't because he has all the squadrons crowded around it. He can't attack the capital ship. He has to attack all these X-Wings backed by Jan Ors. And he's got rogues and these X-Wings and Jan Ors and Dutch to kind of then just smack targets back. And with Gallant Haven on the assault frigate, it's really tough because it's reducing damage. You have to attack the squadron. Jan Ors is there reducing damage. So it was extremely difficult for the squadron alpha from other players to penetrate and actually deal enough damage to kill these squadrons. And then when he activated, he would smack these squadrons out of the sky, kill a lot of squadrons on the return, and then he would drop his Radis ship. It would go chase down carriers and kill them. So he saw a lot of success with this strategy. And this is really the first time we've ever seen Advanced Transponder Net used this effectively so far. Yes, Paul, he has placed all the obstacles as far away as he could from Michael, because Michael's got Captain Burnson on Demolisher. He doesn't want Demolisher to be able to utilize any die canceling ability with Brunson. Yes, he definitely did play heavy Imperial squad balls, whether that was Lone 2 ship or other variants. He definitely fought a lot of Imperial squadrons. And yes, Matthew, I do believe that the Imperial fleet finished with 38 to the Rebel, or the Rebel finished with 38 to the Imperial's 36, yes. Now, Demolisher, I believe, did some flacking. I was going to move. Yeah, Sam didn't invent Thrawn 2 ship. However, he was very, very pivotal in helping Boba Fett design, give feedback, and help him establish it as well. But definitely, it was a brainchild that started with Boba Fett, and Sam definitely helped collaborate and he used it to place, I believe, 3rd or 4th at Gen Con. That's fair, Chris. I won't take that away from you. So yeah, if there's anyone who knows how to counterplay heavy Imperial squadrons, it's definitely Sam. No, I'm not going to fight you. You're my brother, Bananakin. So yeah, out. He's really got to soften up these squadrons here. He's got to get these squadrons low enough health that he can make them just bounce out. Also, we got Demolisher lined up. It's going to want to try to ram and take that GR-75 off the board, stop that GR-75 from pushing squadrons. I think that's a smart move because Demolisher with engine techs, navigation, if he needs it, he's got take evasive action. Demolisher can very easily get back into the fight for whenever the Liberty drops. Alright, so I went over to check out on the health again. Star Destroyer's got 2 shields front, 2 shields left, 1 shield rear, no shields on the right. The Squadron Ball, the Lancers are both down to 2 health, so they're very weak right now. X-Wings are on 3, Rogue Squadron is at full, Jan's at full, Dutch is at 4 health. So definitely the Squadron Ball has suffered some flack, but not as much successful flack I think Michael was hoping for. Again, 1 blue die, not really reliable, it's only a 50-50. But if he had landed, more hits, he definitely would be threatening that Squadron Ball. But as it is right now, it's still going to be very active for the next round. Those Lancers are close to death, though. So if they get if you get some good flak on those Lancers, they might get taken out. But unfortunately, Michael wasn't able to get the ram in the GR-75, so he can't activate the Demolisher first to just double ram, kill the GR, and finish it off. If he's lucky, he might be able to get an accuracy out the front arc. If nothing else, he can potentially strip the scatter off the GR-75. So he's still setting up that GR-75 for death. We'll have to see if Sam is going to want to drop Radis at the start of the next round. I don't think he will. He's not quite in the right position for it. He still needs to soften up that Star Destroyer, which is, here comes the squadron phase. Lancers are coming in. Here comes out some damage, I'm sure. Lancers throw a black die on the attack. Took 1 damage there on the front. 1 shield left on the front. Rogue Squadron. I don't know if that's another Lancer there. Alright, and so both redirects have been used. Michael has burned one of his redirects off the Star Destroyer to redirect some damage. That ISD is practically sitting on no shields right now. Yeah, I don't think things are looking very good for Michael's ISD. It's down to 1 shield on the left, 1 shield on the rear. man, it's just really hard. Those squadrons have definitely been doing massive amount of work to soften up that ISD to the point where, a radish drop could drop on it at medium range. He could get in position to fire at medium range where the ISD is not effective, and then his Liberty can just bounce away and get into a side arc and be totally safe. Um, so we're going to have to see if he decides he's going to want to risk dropping Radis right now or not at the start of round 3. I think Michael, man, I don't understand why there's no repair tokens on it, why there's no repair commands or shields to maximum. I definitely feel like he potentially should have anticipated the amount of damage the squadron's going to do and negated it with something like shields to maximum, or just even having the ISD queued up with repair commands, or even just Exantes throwing repair tokens to him, try to generate shields to offset these effects. So the ISD right now is essentially at no shields. It has almost no shields left where it matters, and that's very concerning for his Star Destroyer. Yes, Michael was ill. We went out to celebrate Friday night. We had some Chinese, and we don't believe it was the food. None of the rest of us were sick. And he doesn't think it was the food either. I just think it was just potentially maybe some anxiety. The food didn't agree with him. They did heavily spice the Japanese food that we had. So potentially just that was what was disagreeing from him. He pretty much was just laying in bed all day. I always would come in and ask if he needed anything. It's like, no, I'm good. Tell them, tell them that I'll be there. So he seems like he's feeling a lot better today. Um, but I mean, illness is still illness. It still can affect a player's decision. But I think that Michael started off with a very solid strategy. I'm questioning about why there's no um, shield shields coming back, like shields maximum or repair tokens again to try to help offset some of that damage. And yes, I absolutely agree. He needs to flak, and he has been flacking. Just unfortunately, some of the flak damage didn't stick as well as he would have hoped for. Not enough flak support from the rest of his ships to try to help keep these squadrons away from buzzing about his Star Destroyer. Yeah, I don't know if Sam is going to drop Radis at the start of round 3. We're still finishing up round 2 here. It looks like we're just going to round 3. I don't know if he's going to Radis drop. I'm going to go find out. So Sam has opted not to Radis at the start of round 3. I think it's a good call. His squadrons are doing everything he needs them to do. His Lancers are safe, backed by Jan Ors. They can take one more round of flak. So that ISD is only going to get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And when Radis drops start of next round, I just don't know if it's going to be able to survive this Liberty drop. So the assault frigate is in range. It can also chuck some dice. It's going to be very hard for Michael at this point. There's Demolisher. It's looking to try to take out that GR75. If nothing else, at least force the scatter to get burned. Or make it use its scatter. He's going to flak now. I almost think potentially he shouldn't have attacked the GR75. He should have flacked out his side where he could reach out the side arc, move Demolisher forward, and then flak out his front and try to get more squadrons. Like there's especially those Lancers. He really needed to peg some damage on those Lancers with that Demolisher movement. I think that's what he's analyzing right now. Is I don't think, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I kind of see it as he was looking at the table. So I really think he should have used both of Demolisher's attacks on squadrons, ignored the GR75. Man, landing some hits there, that's good. But again, it's just interesting to see. It's just small stuff like this you don't think about that can add up to what's going to happen. As a note, at the start of the ship phase, Chimera switched to take evasive action, and he did trigger take evasive action, which adds a yaw click on the last yaw of the ship's speed. Yeah, Alex, I understand he wants to grab the GR75, but I honestly feel like his Star Destroyer is in trouble, and he needed to move that Demolisher up to help flak support those Lancers. They're on 2 health. If he managed to land a single damage on either Lancer, the Kuat would then be able to destroy those Lancers before they could do anything. As it is right now, those Lancers are just going to keep bombing for this round and potentially another round, which that's just going to keep putting more and more pressure on that Star Destroyer, which already has no shields. We just started round 3. We're not just started, we're a couple activations in. There's the GR75 activating Dutch and some of the other squadrons that don't have road. Yeah, I really don't think double ramming the GR75 there with Demolisher was the right call. I really don't. Because now his Demolisher is not in any position to help his flagship. So I'm going to call it here, folks. The start of round 4, you're going to see the Liberty drop. It's going to drop at medium range, where the Kuat cannot hurt it at all. And then the Liberty is going to activate. It's going to blast apart that Star Destroyer. And I don't see how Michael is going to get out of this without losing his Star Destroyer. Demolisher is nowhere in position to support, and Arcanins is not enough support or in the right position to help the Star Destroyer. I'm not sure what the plan is here. I just know that Sam, I believe, is in the more advantageous positioning right now. So Sam's going to be activating his assault frigate right now. I think it's in range to shoot 3 red dice into that Star Destroyer. I'm sure he's going to check here in a moment. Oh no, looks like the range is just barely out to where the assault frigate can't shoot the Star Destroyer, which is good for Michael. It definitely helps Michael out. I am confident that the assault frigate has the navigation dial revealed. I'm going to go double check, because if it doesn't, it's going to be in trouble. But I'm really confident Sam has a navigation dial there. Nope, I lied. Sam is in trouble. I could have swore he would have had navigation dial dialed up, and it's a squadron command, and he's out of range of any squadrons to activate. This is the potential is going to be very dangerous because he can't get that assault frigate out of the way. That Star Destroyer is going to activate. It's absolutely going to be able to get in range to activate first, because Michael has first player. He can activate first. I'm really confident he's going to pick up that assault frigate. So Raditz will be able to get the Liberty drop off. But man, I don't see how the assault frigate is not going to go down in the process. Yeah, with a movement like that, that's going to be really difficult. I'm not sure where the Liberty could potentially position itself to engage that Star Destroyer and catch that Star Destroyer still. I don't know. We're going to have to see at the top of the round. But yeah, unfortunately, Sam didn't have a navigation command queued up there to angle himself away from the Star Destroyer that's going to go at speed 3 and bump up, and I'm really confident it's going to get him. Kuon's activating now. It's going to be flacking. Good decision there. Definitely has to get those Lancers off his tail. That Lancer's down to 1 health now. Next Lancer's down to 1 health as well. So more flak going out. Not getting anything with that medium range attack. Now he's attacking at the side, flacking at the side. Some flak damage on Janors. I believe that's Rogue Squadron. Nope, that's some generic X-Wing. Another damage on generic X-Wing. And another damage on generic X-Wing. So those generic X-Wings, I think, are down to 3 or 2 health. Lancers are down to 1. Jan, I think, is down to 3 health. Again, the squadrons definitely can survive another round of flak. The Lancers can't, though. But like I said, I think the call should have been Demolisher to have popped up and shot flak at those Lancers. Because then potentially, if he had landed damage on those Lancers from Demolisher, the Kuat could have activated, blown both Lancers out of the water, and that really, really would have helped the ISD going into this next round. Not having done that, those Lancers are going to activate one more time. Their bomber, if they're throwing out double hits, that's just not going to end well for Michael's ISD, especially since they can continue to chase that ISD down. Nick, I don't think you understand. I mentioned it earlier. The Kuat is running Boarding Vader. It's going to rip ECMs right off that assault frigate.
Because my mom has some past it's only about 60 seconds. Yeah. I feel like it's
Just doing some deliberation of walking on the pool, seeing where things are going. Now, I'm really confident the Kuat can one-shot the assault frigate out the front arc, but he really wants to make sure he's getting doubled for insurance. So I think what we're going to see here at the start of the next round, obviously Radis is going to drop the Liberty off. The Liberty is going to be placed in such a way to where it doesn't matter where the ISD goes, the Liberty is going to get it. The assault frigate's going to die, then the Liberty is going to activate, kill the Star Destroyer, and then I think then Demolish is going to activate, kill the GR-75, and then it's just going to be a matter of who could pick up points where to continue this struggle, this fight. Yep, there's the double arc. Perfect placement.
Whatever that. Yeah, you have your
Well, I initially thought Sam had the advantage, but even if Michael loses his ISD, again, it's just whoever has the most points at the end. He's going to lose the assault frigate. The assault frigate having done nothing. I'm just really concerned about why there's no navigation command on that assault frigate, why it was a squadron command. Because this is now has allowed this to happen to where it's in range of that Star Destroyer, not what Sam wants. He's absolutely going to lose the assault frigate with nothing to show for it. But the Liberty is going to drop. Now the goal here is if Michael can then capitalize on that Liberty with his Arcadans and Demolisher, he potentially could table Sam here. Sam will need to kill the ISD, and then he will need to kill at least, let's see here, point-wise. So the Assault Frigate is 132 points, and the Kuat is 169 points. So losing his GR-75, which is 26 points. I need a pencil. I need to do math.
okay. Not super good.
Alright, so even if Michael kills the GR-75 and the Assault Frigate, that's only 158 points compared to his ISD, which is 169 points. So Michael will still be under pressure. He has to kill some squadrons, or he has to take down the Liberty. All Michael has to do, all Sam has to do is kill the ISD, and as long as he makes sure none of his squadrons die, and make sure his Liberty doesn't die, he will win on MOV, if he can get the squadrons and his Liberty out. So absolutely, I do believe this next round is going to be very decisive, and it's going to set the tone for if we will see if there's potentially any chance of victory for Michael after the end of next round. Right at this point, not knowing where the Liberty is going to drop, I don't know how the engagement is going to go well for Sam to get his Liberty out and get his squadrons out. We're really going to have to wait and see. If I was Sam, though, I definitely would want to split up those Lancers to be in different arcs. That way, if the front arc kills the Assault Frigate, he can't just flack out one zone and kill everything. Sam really needs to be splitting his fire or moving squadrons to the front whole arc where they can't get shot again. Yep, there he goes. Very smart, putting them where he knows he's going to shoot, so that way they don't die to flak. Oh, and there's a hit crit. Not very. That's going to hurt. Yeah, one X-Wing did go down. So we're going through the squadron phase here. That's not going to be enough damage to kill the ISD. He'll get close, though. Yes, Michael on the right is Rebel. Or, excuse me, Michael on the right is Imperial. Sam Simpson on the left is Rebel. Yeah, the GR-75 got popped. Here comes the Radish drop. That, I hope that is not... Oh man, that's a very dangerous all-in strategy for Sam. I know he's got to stop the Star Destroyer from getting away, but he has absolutely set his Liberty up to where Demolisher can come in and smack him really good. Andy, because if he drops it too far to the side, the ISD is going to go speed 3 and it's going to outrun him. And with Michael having first player, Michael will always outrun the Liberty, spamming repair commands, and he won't be able to get it. So he does need to drop in a position that's going to be advantageous to the Liberty, but he also needs to be very careful he's not getting into where Demolisher can roll up and then also throw some damage on him. We're just going to have to see what risks both players are going to be willing to take. You can see there Sam adjusting his movements, adjusting everything. He's got to make sure he can keep things to where the Liberty isn't going to get potentially smacked from the side arc. He wants to definitely make sure he's keeping at a close range of Vader, just in case if Vader wants to rip off the Mon Caron title, and also just in case if Vader if he decides to smack the front of Liberty. But he also might be putting the Liberty at close range to entice a shot on the Liberty. I don't know. I'm not close enough to the table to see that right now. So the Star Destroyer has suffered 4 hull damage. It has no shields left. So the Star Destroyer is definitely going to die after it activates and blows apart that assault frigate probably. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, the next 2 to 3 activations, the next 2 activations are going to be key as to what's going to happen here. And I mean, there's always a chance that potentially the Kuat really flubs its attack roll and doesn't kill the assault frigate. He needs to roll accuracy to ensure a kill on that assault frigate, I believe. But we'll have to see. If he doesn't get accuracies on both attacks, or even on his big front attack, that assault frigate will be able to live and run to fight another day, potentially. The Archidans is there to kind of swoop in to clean up, and Archidans definitely can fight an assault frigate at range if the assault frigate is not spamming repair, and if the Archidens is throwing concentrate fires. It does have slave turrets and Krennic, so it's going to have rerolls. It has Gergerod for maneuverability. So that assault, that Archidens, I think, can take on that assault frigate and win, especially if that assault frigate has been critically smacked by the Kuat. Yes, I'm also concerned with that maneuver for that Liberty facing off against Demolisher there. That Demolisher, I definitely believe, is going to be in range to move last and then first on that Liberty, which is very, very dangerous for that Liberty. Especially if he's willing to commit to just ram with Demolisher and just table his opponent and get the victory. So initially I had thought Sam had the upper hand, but it looks like things have swung back in Michael's favor. Here's the activation. Here we go. Here comes the die pool. Big attack coming, big attack. We got some blanks there. We got a red double though. Wow, so the front arc did manage to roll an accuracy for the blue die, but none of the black dice are showing any critical symbols. No ACM. That is not very good for Michael. That's definitely going to ensure that the assault frigate is going to survive unless he dedicates a side arc attack to it. And even then, with a side arc attack, that just was a very poor front arc roll. He's gotta make up for it with this attack here. He's got to roll more doubles on here. There's one double, one blank, red double. Adding concentrate fire. Oh, blanks again. Yeah, he can't lead in shots because he's going to get rid of the accuracy, which is the unfortunate thing. He needs it to lock the brace. But that's still, I don't think that's still not going to be enough to kill the assault frigate. It's not. The assault frigate's going to live. He really, the front arc really flubbed. The front arc flubbed really bad. Yep, it's got only 2 damage or 3 damage cards on it. That is just really, really unfortunate for Michael. I can't believe how badly the dice rolled there on his front arc and his side arc attack. That is just, that's Armada. That's how things go. Sometimes your dice roll hot. Sometimes they roll cold. And that's the game has completely turned on its head yet again. So Michael's absolutely going to lose the Star Destroyer here. There's just no way the Star Destroyer is going to live out this round. Yeah, there's no way the Star Destroyer is going to live. It's got no shields. It's already taken 4 hull damage. The assault frigate's there. The Liberty's there. And what you're going to see happen now is that the assault frigate can wait to activate. What's probably going to happen is that the Liberty's going to activate. It's going to ram into the Star Destroyer to drop back to where Demolisher can't get it. And it's just going to sit there and wait for Demolisher to come into him. Or he might try to position his Liberty to be in position to take on Demolisher. But as it is right now, that assault frigate, it was hurt. And if Sam's got repair commands queued up, that assault frigate will be able to outlast the firepower from that Archidens. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things go. The assault frigate definitely is hurting. The Archidens has an opportunity to take down the assault frigate because the assault frigate no longer has ECM. So he doesn't need to worry about rolling accuracies. He just needs to pour intensive firepower into that assault frigate. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Chris. I think that squadron ball is going to shift to move to set up a kill zone for where Demolisher comes in. And just murder Demolisher. So what should have been a potential victory for Michael is completely changed. We see there that there's some ramming going to happen. He's trying not to get closer to the Liberty. He's trying to get himself in position to. That's still not going to help him out. That Liberty still has him at medium range. Yes, extremely below average rolls for the Kuat on both the front and the side arc. Just not good rolls. That's just what happens. That's Armada.
Just wanted to make an announcement to the main hall here. I have been told the bar is now open. I repeat, the bar is now open.
Michael is sitting down, just staring, I think, at disbelief at the assault frigate, that it's still there. Sam is standing, he's energetic. There's definitely still a chance the assault frigate will die to the Archidans. But that's, at this point, that's not going to affect a whole lot because Michael didn't get the exact optimal outcome that he needed to ensure his victory. Michael is back on the back foot now. Sam is in control. It's Sam's game to lose at this point. Here we go. Here's some dice rolling. Some squadrons got activated. Well, Michael got accuracies out of both the front and the side arc, which is ideal. It's just his black dice flubbed on both his attacks. He only was able to barely trigger ECM off the side attack, nothing off the front, despite rerolls. That's Armada. That's how it goes. No, Nick. If he had rolled double ACM on both attacks, that assault frigate absolutely would be dead right now. Yes, Nick, I absolutely understand that. That's not something that you absolutely say, oh, I'm going to get an accuracy 100% of the time. Uh, but with ripping the ECMs off, absolutely, it's nice. My own variant, I run Jonas to ensure the accuracy. But if he had just rolled pure damage out front and side and gotten ACMs to trigger, and then you potentially could have rammed to finish off the assault frigate. I still feel like the assault frigate shouldn't have survived the double arc, but it did, and that's just how it is. Yeah, I'm not sure how that Archidans could close at speed 3, but you see there we've got a split squadron ball that's there to try to help out the assault frigate against the Archidans. So we'll see if the Archidans is going to be enough to try to catch up to the assault frigate to finish it off. Because the assault frigate really doesn't have any shields left anymore. So all that Archidans needs is one good attack, and it might get that assault frigate. But we'll have to see next round if that's the case. The problem is that Michael's going to be pressured to activate either Demolisher or the Archidans, and whatever he activates, the other ship, is going to activate and get away. So that's going to be a very difficult decision for Michael to make, and Sam is going to be left in an optimal position. The Star Destroyer, I think, is only left on 3 or 4 hull right now, from what I can see. So that Liberty is absolutely going to murder that Star Destroyer when it activates. All right, here's the Gazanti getting moved. Here comes the Liberty activation. As I said, I just really don't think that Star Destroyer is going to be able to tank. It's only got 4 health left. Liberty can easily roll more than that for its attack. And if nothing else, Sam has squadrons that are rogue left to mop up that ISD. Yes, he used the board invader to rip ECMs off the assault frigate. And there goes the Star Destroyer. It actually looks like Sam managed to kill it with just the side arc of the Liberty. He didn't even need his front arc. Because the brace looks like it had already been potentially spent from the assault frigate activation. The assault frigate, I believe, had a double arc, and so he had to spend both his braces on the assault frigate to not explode. Now, with Demolisher here, it is in a position to where if it's just really unfortunate that he couldn't finish off the assault frigate, because if he could have last versus with Demolisher, he absolutely could just self-immolate Demolisher in a last-ditch effort to just table Sam's Liberty with just rams, and he's got assault concussion missiles. It's going to be really difficult for Michael to pick up the Liberty with Demolisher. The double braces are going to help neuter the effect of the front and side arc in these attacks. The redirect, yeah, it's just tough all the way around for Michael right now. Now, a tactic Michael could try is he could try to slow Demolisher down, keep it at long range, and not fork himself with activation decision, which that should be the play he should be trying to make. He really wants that Arcadin to get at long range. He wants to activate the Arcadins first to shoot the assault frigate and try to kill it before it can run away or start spamming repair commands. There's also only so much table. So Michael can keep up the assault frigate, and if he keeps dedicating himself on it, I think he can absolutely bring that assault frigate down. He just needs to be very careful of his Demolisher to not get that Demolisher caught by that Liberty. Because Demolisher can scoop up that Liberty, he's just got to play it just right, and he needs a little bit of luck on his side. But as it is right now, Sam is still in a more optimal position. It looks like that is medium range, so the evade is going to be less effective. But we're going to have to see what Michael decides to do with the Demolisher. Again, I don't think he should charge the Demolisher, and he should hang it back. Because he doesn't want to get himself trapped in deliberations about if he activates one or the other, he's going to lose opportunity of getting one of them destroyed or not being able to get activation advantage. Or not activation advantage, proper activation order. You can see there he's checking range on the Liberty. Demolisher can still be at long range of the Liberty and be fine. He's got Brunson in range of the asteroid field now to cancel die. There he goes. Very smart play by Michael. He's putting that Gazanti right in the way. One, to give him obstruction, and two, for his Demolisher to ram into it and drop back into a nice, safe, advantageous positioning. Very smart play by Michael there. So now his Demolisher is going to be safe. He can activate his Arcadins first at the start of the next round and try to see if he can pull that assault frigate off the table. Upgrade on the Liberty is Mon Cairn, Lando Calrissian, Caitlin Sholin, and heavy ion placements. So the Lando officer is still going to make it hard for Demolisher to kill the Liberty, but he definitely has a better chance now than otherwise. But with no more Moff Jerjerrod on the table, the Demolisher still it doesn't have the huge flexibility it otherwise could have. So again, he's going to have very smart play here with the Demolisher if he wants to pick up that Liberty. Yep, there's the ram there on the Gazanti, drops him back. I'm going to go check some speed on some ships. So Demolisher's at speed 2, Liberty's at speed 1. So the Liberty, it can't go fast when it wants to go fast to get away from Demolisher. Even if it has a navigation command queued up, it can only go from speed 1 to speed 2 next round. So the Liberty's not going to get very far. So Demolisher, if there's some smart play by the Demolisher, they potentially can get around that front arc into the Liberty's side arc. He still has activation advantage. So the Demolisher is really going to have some prime positioning for last first for next round. or for the round after this round, I should say. But we're in round 4 right now, so we're definitely running out of rounds for Michael to be able to scoop this up. No, there is no Katsu. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the camera to zoom a little bit more in on the action. See here, we're at the start of round 5 now. It's fun. I think it's 5. Is it round 5 or round 4 now?
Just started round 5.
This is the start of round 5. So yeah, we are start of round 5. So Michael is definitely pressured to he's got to pick up the Liberty somehow between this round and next round. It's going to be difficult. Can he accomplish it? It's possible, but it's going to be very hard for Michael to do that. Here comes the Arcadans. He does have Director Krennic on it. Concentrate Fire, I do believe. He's going to reroll some dice.
There's 90 minutes left in the round, so they're on pace to finish.
There goes the Assault Frigate. He got exactly what he needed to be able to take the Assault Frigate down. Michael is still behind in points, though. Or, you know what? I haven't added in the X-Wing. So let's see here. Michael has lost his ISD, which is 169 points. Sam has lost his Assault Frigate, which is 132. 26 points for his GR-75. And 13 points for an X-Wing. So Sam right now has lost 171 points compared to Michael's 169. Michael has barely got an edge over Sam right now. The start of round 5, the Arkan just activated and killed the Assault Frigate. Liberty is going now. Medium range shot on the Gazanti. Gazanti gets destroyed. That puts Sam back in the lead. It feels like somebody's watching me. Uh-oh, landing on the debris field. That's not going to be very good for that Liberty. Where is he going to put those squadrons? I definitely would absolutely make sure you put them to where they're not going to shoot your Demolisher. So generic X-Wing and Janors get placed there. So it comes down to this, folks. Can Demolisher take out that Liberty in a last first? Because this is round 5. He's only got round 6 to accomplish it. Essentially, can he accomplish a kill in 3 attacks? If not, Liberty gets away. Sam wins. If Michael can kill the Liberty, he tables him, and Michael will win. Because there's no way that Squadron Ball, even if it kills the Archidans, it doesn't matter. If it kills Demolisher, it doesn't matter. At this point, Michael has to kill the Liberty to win.
How much is my IC?
169. Michael was just doing some quick point calculations. He was asking me how much his ISD was worth, because I've got both the fleet lists here in front of me.
Over to you, sir.
See, they're very, very careful measurements for the Demolisher. Yeah, he took a single shot out the front because he wants the side arc to get the main attack on Liberty with the Demolisher. So he threw a single red just to see what he could do. The single red did hit for a damage. So the Liberty is 4 shields on the front, and 2 and 2, left to right, no shields on the rear. Here comes the Demolisher attack. It's obstructed, so 3 black, 2 hits, 1 hit crit, ACMs go off. Looks like he's opting not to re-roll the black dice at all.
You have 57 minutes remaining. 57 minutes remaining.
Nick, it's not so much that he's got engine techs. So remember, Demolisher can only do the movement and then attack and then move. So he still wanted to make sure he's getting his attack and then set up for his next maneuver to get the unobstructed shots next time. It's a possibility, but again, in a game of Armada where you know, it's all about calculations and risks. It's did he want to take that risk or not? I think he made a safe play. He didn't want to be. Oh, we're checking to see if he's got double arc on that side. If he's got double on the side, just confirmed that Demolisher does have double arc into the side of the Liberty. So 2 shields on the front of Liberty, 1 shield left on the side, no shields left on the rear. Meaning when both of those attacks come in, if they're triggering ACMs, it's essentially going to strip shields, and it's going to be push and hold damage in. And that Demolisher is in a position where it absolutely can execute a double ram. It's going to be very... Now, Sam does have Lando Calrissian on the Liberty. So it's going to come down to Lando, folks. Can Lando save the day? Can he snap his fingers, say, hey, everyone, it's going to be all right. Here's some Colt 45. If not, I'm jumping in this airlock. I'm going to, out my escape pod, I'm going to see you all later. So we'll see if Lando saves the day or not, because it does come down to that. Because if the Liberty explodes, that's it for Sam. He'll play second. If the Liberty survives, Sam will win because he's up on points right now. I really don't think Sam should commit 1 health Lancers to going after an Archidans at close range, because the Archidans will just shoot them and give up more points. Sam is only in the lead by a small amount of points right now. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure if that's a wise decision. Those Archidans throw black flak, and those Lancers are both at 1 health. Because now, if the Liberty dies, or if the Liberty escapes and it survives, if he loses more squadrons, that could tip the balance back to Michael.
Shut up.
I am glad that both players decided that they wanted to fight, that there wasn't going to be any disengagement or anything like that. I know the pressure's on first player to come and to engage, but I'm definitely glad that we're getting an action-packed, interesting game to start with, and not just a bunch of running around trying to just snipe one tiny little thing. Here we go. Here's Demolisher. Front attack, 2 damage on the red, 1 damage on black, and a hit crit symbol showing. So there goes the ACM. It's going to be stripping some shields off and dealing the whole damage to Liberty. because he's absolutely going to save Lando for the 4 black dice. There's the brace. That's definitely going to help the Liberty to survive. I'm going to go check its health after this next attack. So here's going to be the initial roll. Concentrate fire. And then here's going to come the Lando. So Lando re-rolled 2 hit crits. 1 is still a hit crit. Brace coming off. Yeah, brace is getting used.
C is chemical mode.
That's going to be it, folks. The Demolisher is going to come in for the ram. Liberty only has 1 health left. Oh, maybe the Demolisher won't have the ability to get to it. They're deliberating right now. Yep, they've come to an agreement. Demolisher's going to ram. That's good game.
Oh, wait, we got a morning surprise. I gotta get the surprise.
So, guys, the game's over, but stick around. We're going to get an interview with Michael here.
I think next year's form will be slightly different. Having run a big event, like a big Armada event for the first time now, I will have a little more insight on to what the format should be. I think the thing I like the best is probably 4 rounds of Swiss and then a top 4 round robin on Sunday.
Players, I got plenty of time in
So
the
it's a lot of
round.
games, but
Congratulations to the Imperials.
the round robin in finals makes it a little more interesting score-wise.
That means if there is a tie between the light and the dark side of the
feel
end
about
of
it
the
and stuff like
day,
that.
dark side wins. This would have been
Woo, Imperials. He was announcing that Armada won. For whatever's going on for them. Apparently, this is affecting Legion.
Yeah. So really cool thing that Legion guys are doing. They're doing a narrative event right now in Legion, and now that the Imperials have space battle, that is affecting the Legion stuff now. So.
Do you hear that, Sam? You just screwed things up for all the Rebel Legion players.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Sorry, fuck, man, I could have obstructed it.
Oh, with the
words.
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking about them because there was no squads.
Honestly, Sam, I thought that you were pulling ahead when I saw how much damage you were doing that. So I was
But I mean, I just couldn't hang on for long enough.
So I gotta ask though, while I have you here, I was super surprised when I saw Squadron Command and not Navigation Command on the assault frigate. What happened?
Oh, yeah.
Was that intentional or?
Yeah, usually. Yeah, I just thought I would need him to finish it off. I didn't realize that he was going to be just like on top of all my squads. I could have just napped or engineered, done something better, you know.
Yeah, I definitely felt potentially with the Navigation Command, he could have gotten out of the close range.
Yeah.
So I definitely was like, oh yeah, he's gonna have navigation command. He's gonna get away. Oh no, it's not navigation command. I'm like, oh well, this drastically changes everything.
Yeah, mistakes were made in this game.
That's
for
our
sure.
motto, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Good man.
I mean, you made top 2. I mean, you
Yeah.
made first place, first day.
Yeah, but that's not the whole shebang. So. Bummer.
You still did fantastic.
Thank you. It's just sucks knowing that, like, man, I could have made a huge difference with one word.
Yeah.
Anyone have any like suggestions for next year?
Top 4 cut sounds great. Top 4 cut. That would have been fun. Top 4 cuts around robin today.
Oh yeah.
3 games, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That would have been fun.
getting into the top 4 no matter what, I'm having fun if that happens.
Exactly.
So
That was just my sole goal for the whole thing. Like being here is just
Painting competition?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
I would have lost.
Yeah, there's not much I can do about that. That's a if you email FLG, sorry, Frontline Gaming, suggesting that kind of stuff. Those are the guys who heard that stuff.
I did. It was tense.
So,
I just.
yeah.
It's soured knowing that I had something that could have saved me.
Yeah,
Probably
so,
would have. Somewhere.
How many
I
shields
did
did you have
not
left on this side of the Liberty?
I have no shields left, but I had a engineering command coming up.
Because
So
I was wondering,
next time I will try to do that.
did I need to land or would you land on the debris field? And ultimately it's like, okay, just you just have to
Yeah.
get over it.
that would have been.
I will definitely try to do that. I also want to do
One-
but I just
Yeah, but I mean, it was
Yeah,
like
It would have been close.
it was like this, right?
Yeah, but then the worm can't overlap the ship, so you would have had to try and fit it in here. It would have been super close.
And so
I'm sure you could have like
and
finagled
Michael,
it to get
you
it.
had,
Yeah.
I gave you an invite. Yeah, yes.
Yes,
So,
yesterday.
and then the other guy. Okay, so I'll be emailing FLG with your guys' email addresses from the pre-reg, and they'll be contacting you about their role invite.
Sam,
all right.
thanks for judging, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd see you later. I was thinking of it last night.
Well, if you want to email me later, my email is
I was up on points if you didn't tell me.
us@gmail.com.
By like
Just email me
30
if you have
something.
anything
It would have been.
It would have been a 6-5.
It would have been close.
Or
to
seven.
I'm
2
going
lanes.
to try to not
15, right?
judge.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have gotten both if
I'm
you had slaved.
but I would
I can flap the entire.
the authority on
You can only attack
this
once.
game that I do not play.
No,
But,
slaved 100%.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You can only attack one ship or once.
Yeah,
if you get one guys to do the judging, I'll just help like do the communication.
No.
conversations.
You can only do one. It
I
limits you to one
think
attack per round.
Convention
So
since they started doing
an
this
attack
convention.
from
So they just
if you're
say, hey,
it's
can you
in the
do this thing?
FAQ.
I'm like, okay, cool.
You can attack all the squadrons. In
Is
the
it? I want to see that in the FAQ. That kind of ruled several times.
Maybe hopefully like
Oh, that's good.
I got it.
more than one person do that, and I'll just help get everything organized and set up and that kind of stuff. So that's my plan for next year if they want me back. They keep asking me back. I don't know why. Apparently I'm doing it a good enough job. Anyway,
But yeah, you did a really good job. I'll give you that. And I don't blame you for refereeing a game you don't play and being like, wait, what?
yeah. Thankfully, Armada's not too.
God, I'm like super laid back.
Well, there's not too much room for interpretation on it. So like every question I was asked is pretty answerable by what is written on the cards.
Yeah.
Literally, one of the questions someone asked me if they could do a thing and their opponent disagreed, and I asked them for the card and showed it to their opponent, and their opponent agreed. I'm like, okay, cool, good job, team. We done. We got there. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we're done.
Yeah. None of this is mine.
What am I doing to this box?
You get a lovely box.
Yeah. Anyone want some garbage? Box garbage.
Oh, there's stuff in there. Yeah.
There's this tells you how many cards there were.
Oh, okay.
And there's if you want a bunch of plastic baggies, I got plastic baggies.
Actually, yes, I want a bag.
You want a plastic baggie?
Yeah, so that I can put all of my
bags.
There you go. Plastic
swag
baggies.
into.
Mostly because I
Free
need
plastic baggies.
my collection's getting big.
Yeah, the
Mostly my ship carts are so big they don't fit in the bag anymore.
TSA is going to give me a pretty weird look coming through the airport with like plastic bags.
Who do you check in luggage? Crying out loud.
Well, it's the white substance inside of it.
A
don't
buddy
tell
of
me
mine
that.
called dibs on the actual box, so
Okay.
and I didn't. So
I literally could not get that home anyway. I did not check any bags. What?
that's the key to travel is not checking bags.
I did not even do
Or fly Southwest and check out.
What's that?
Fly Southwest and check out everything you fits into.
Yeah, I fly Southwest and check no bags. I'm heading out of the airport in 10 minutes. I used to travel for work, so.
The only thing that I have.
All right, everyone, follow me on a journey. I'm going to get this set up for the interview.
I don't care about losing too much.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Hey, can you just sit in that chair right there for me real quick? I just need to see if this is going to be. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem. So what's the next one you're going to?
Next event,
Yeah, what's the next event you're going to?
the Portland Primes.
Portland Prime?
Yeah,
When is that?
February 8th. At Red Castle.
There's a really good chance I'll see you there.
Oh, nice.
21st, I've got time off to go to all the regionals around Omaha.
Oh, wow.
I think Portland, Oregon was on that list, but I'm not sure.
Well, if I see you there, great.
If not,
If not, then at the next event at Adepticon.
Adepticon again?
Yeah, I'm going to Adepticon. I'll see you there.
All right, Michael is just getting his gear cleaned up here, and we'll get him over here in just a minute. If anyone does have questions for Michael, though, go ahead and start tossing those into the chat, and I'll get them answered. Hey, good seeing you. For those of you unaware, that was Matt Holland walking by, tapping me on the shoulder. He works for Fantasy Flight Games. Michael taking his sweet time, packing up, admiring his little trophy there, packing it away. He's good to go. He's gonna be. He just gave me the thumbs up. Again, if anyone has any questions for Michael, feel free to toss it up here. Yeah, and don't worry about needing to
just talk normally, and it should be able to pick us up just fine. Congratulations, placing first,
Thank you.
despite being ill under the weather. Did you completely recover for today, or are you still feeling a little sick?
I'm feeling much better today than yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday sucked.
So, do you think it was the food poisoning, or do you think it was food poisoning?
I'm
Oh
pretty
my
sure.
gosh! I just thought maybe it was just the spices. I know you mentioned. No, I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
So we went out when we found out on Friday that Sam had placed and he had placed. We went out for drinks and for food. He didn't have any alcohol, but we had some food, and the rest of us were fine. But unfortunately for Michael, did not work out so well. He spent all day laying on the couch yesterday, suffering in pain. And pretty much just, I was walking out one time, I was reaching, I was like, just let them know I'm still going to be there. But I'm glad that you're feeling better today and you could play a competitive game. So just to start out with, like, when I first saw your deployment, I'm like, oh yeah, good deployment for both players. He's got the obstacles away where we can't use Brunson on Demolisher. And I got concerned though. I got very concerned when I saw that you didn't have one of your Gazantes potentially alongside your ISD to help out with some flak for against squadrons, and your shields are getting stripped off very quickly. And I was sitting there like, oh, I don't understand why, like, no repair commands. I know navigation's important. You do have Jared Gerard. You do potentially take evasive action you could use. But I was concerned about maybe no shields to maximum, or just even a repair token or repair command. So what was your reasoning behind no potential blink damage insurance?
So ultimately, I was trying to actually get that starter Gazanti, I think it was Hondo, number 12, around the ISD so that he could do that, and I didn't speed up with entrapment formation like I meant to. If I had, it would have been closer, but then with where he placed his frigate, instead of staying at speed 1, he sped up to 2, and so the ISD had to jump in. And at that point, it didn't matter anymore for point damage. The one, number 7, I feel like I misplaced it at the beginning because I knew once he placed the frigate on the right side, my right, the kitten was going to have to turn hard and get around. And with that gauze right there, it just made the timing weird. And so if I had turned the gauze in tighter, well, then the kitten can't get around. And as you saw, that proved pivotal.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I was super surprised at the end of the game. The Arcadians finally managed to get exactly right where you needed it when you needed it. As for those watching, the Arcadians was pretty much out of the game the entire time until the exact moment that it was needed. It came swooping in to save the day.
Yep.
And definitely when I was watching and when I saw where Sam, because the biggest thing about New Radis is it's on the flagship now. Where is that going to drop at the distance to? It's quite a distance. I mean, as you knew, it's it's not going to drop at close range. It doesn't want to take anything there. I definitely, on that approach, like I said, I was concerned about why no insurance against Plink with no repair tokens, because even just a repair token, a shield, it still can make all the difference. But as you saw, I think he kind of had the idea in mind that, okay, it's a top cut game. I just need points to win. You probably knew that you're going to lose the Star Destroyer at some point.
Exactly.
I think we all knew that. It was just what can it accomplish before it goes down? I know that when I saw that, it was trying to come in, and I was like, oh, as long as Sam, I think it was round 4, as long as Sam has a navigation command on that assault frigate, it can yaw away, and there's no way he's going to get close range. And I was blown away that it was a squadron command, not a navigation command. Did you anticipate it? Did you anticipate the navigation being there, or
no? Because he pre-measured one of his squads there to see if he was going to be in range of it. With Jurdrad with a nav, that ISD can do 120 degree turn, and so
especially with take evasive action.
And so I was pretty confident I was going to get within close range. It was just whether or not I was going to be able to double arc it. But yeah, at that point, I might have slowed down because I think I had a concentrate fire after that, but I still had a nav token on there, so I might have slowed down to give the frigate some space and then jump in. But
even one more round though with that assault frigate just being able to give that extra little cushioning. Because again, when I saw that it was not a navigate, I knew that there's no way it could get far enough away to stay out of double arc.
Right.
Or I still feel like with a navigate with 1, 1, and 1, it could have gotten far enough away to even still stay out of close range.
It would have been close. It would have definitely screwed demo over. Because
Yeah.
one of the reasons, well, the biggest reason I turned in hard with the ISD was to try and force the Radis drop to be headed towards Demolisher.
Yes, exactly.
And if he had done that, well, then I've got to keep going kind of straight forward. Radis can drop on the far side, and it would have been interesting, to say the least.
It would have put Sam in a more advantageous positioning because then again, just a front arc shot from a Kuat, could it kill an assault frigate in one attack? Maybe,
It would have been
it would have been a lot harder, even with ECM's gone.
Right.
But as it was, again, not having that navigation command in that pivotal moment, I felt like he needed a navigation command rather than squadron command. As we saw, that kind of proved to be the undoing of the frigate, except until then, when you flood, the front arc flubbed, the side arc flubbed, and then the assault frigate was able to start getting away, and I was like, oh man, it is going to get away.
Right.
And then I saw that position of where the Arcadans was in Demolisher. I'm like, oh, so at this point, now's the pivotal moment. Is he going to just like race Demolisher in? If he does, that's going to be misplay because then you're forked with your activations, and that Moncaran Liberty can absolutely just murder a Demolisher with one shot. And so I was very impressed when you turned that Gazanti in as a speed bump, and you bumped and dropped back to Demolisher. So I assumed like when you saw what was happening, you anticipated that kind of movement, or did you additionally feel like you had to like charge in with Demolisher?
No, that was it was a timing thing. So I knew I was going to have to go first with the kitten, and so at that point it was trying to figure out, all right, I needed to nav on both the Gazantis to try and find a way to swing around the front. I ended up swinging too hard because if I'd swung less, demo could have gone speed 1, stayed at long range, and I would have for sure been able to engine tech, which is what I was trying to do, and bump that last turn, or the turn 5 before turn 6 when demo got to go, and that would have I would have known I could get 3 for sure damage on the
right.
And then at that point, it's just getting 5 through with the Demolish double arc, and that's pretty average, I feel like, at least playtesting. So
yeah, and that definitely the concern. I got a question here. Definitely the concern was, what's Lando going to do?
Right.
That's the biggest thing about Lando Calrissian is like, is he going to take all this damage and make it nothing, and then suddenly the tables have turned yet again, or do I still get what I need? So, I mean, tell me, like, what was your anticipation there? Like, after you saw you did get your double hit crits, which is like, so tell me, like, how you were feeling in that moment.
Initially, I rolled 6 with a blank, and so I was looking at, or no, it was just 6 total, I think. 5 dice, double, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And so I was looking at, like, re-rolling into a blank was not going to be a big deal. It would just be 5, the brace wouldn't, still braces to 3. That was really where my head was at. And then it rolled into that second double and was like, okay, great. Now he can make me re-roll him, but I've got twice the options to come back with another double. And it ended up hitting. So, dice gonna dice.
Dice are gonna dice. And again, for those of you not too independent with Armada, on an 8-sided black die, there's only 2 sides that show the hit crit symbol, 2 blanks, and then 4 regular hits. And so it was 50-50 whether he's going to get that hit crit again or not.
Right.
And, he just so happened you got a little bit of luck on your side. Potentially, could it still drop the Liberty to enough damage where you could double ram it? Who knows?
Right.
But essentially, that's Armada, baby, and that's dice are going to dice and Lando. We got a question here.
Yeah.
Why Krennic on the Arcadans seems a bit expensive. Granted, it killed the assault frigate at the last minute.
So Krennic with slave turrets on the Arcatans hits super hard, and he lays a big giant trap, especially for smalls against others. So the ability to just run him in and actually last first with Krennic, people don't tend to think about that. It's like, oh, it's a red die ship that's going last. Well, if you run into it, he gets to shoot. With George Rod, I can almost always maneuver in such a way that I can get that second 5 red, re-rolls, shot off, and like Sierra 90s pop, Raiders pop, like most stuff dies if you can last first with it. And so that's really the thought behind it. That, and if I did need a TRCs, it's something like a 273, I think. Mm-hmm. So 27-point bid, which was too much in my brain. So
you're running a big bid.
Yeah. I was already at 21 points, so I didn't really feel like I needed to go bigger than that. But I still got outbid yesterday, so
By how much you were you good?
by 6, I think is what Nicholas had. I think he had 27.
Was that the game? Did you still win that game?
No.
So that was your only major loss, though,
Yeah.
right? So let's
Yeah.
talk about that then. So let's talk about in the games that you played.
Uh-huh.
Was that also a matchup that your list was weak against? Talk to me about that game.
Yeah, it was Raider ISD with Piet and a bunch of squads.
Oh, Mac.
It was like Max build, but it
Okay,
was
like-
Nicholas.
okay.
Nicholas had commandeered it, and he had Avenger on there on his ISD instead of Sovereign. He took my advanced gunnery, and my advanced gunnery whiffed hard on his ISD. I baited off his ECMs, got 2 front arc shots off on him, and it lived. And so that was basically the turning point. Because if it had died, I had room to JJ a turn, and I think Morna could have shot me that game, but I would have lived on 1 because Morna's rogue, and so I could have sped off away from her into the sunset. But
So that
again, dice gonna dice.
dice are gonna dice, and a matchup like that, even and that's one thing for some people that were very confused about. Oh, how is that assault frigate gonna die? It's got ECM, and like, well, the new hotness right now, thanks to Gilded Palion, right? That
Yep.
enunciate it. He pioneered something that he won Nova Open with, which is a Kuat with either ACMs or APTs, whatever you want to put in the ordnance slot. The Vader team. And the whole purpose is you need to line up that double arc. You Vader off ECM. You don't care about it anymore.
Right.
If you roll accuracy is great, but you essentially just pour so much firepower in, you blow it up. That's what I was using in my Tarkin build, but I had insurance for accuracy. I have Jonas.
Right.
So even if like a red blanks out and I've got blue damage, I still am getting my accuracy. That's how I was able to blow up a Mahdi SSD from essentially full health to dead with double arc. It's a very powerful combo. And even with the meta changing, because Starhawk and Onager pretty much comes out like very, very soon, I think that Star Destroyer build is still going to be a very popular option. It's going to stick around for a while. Which expansion are you most excited about coming out?
I'm excited for the Onager because I have zero idea how it's going to affect everything. Like the idea of long plus is just not ridiculous, but just I haven't fathomed it yet. Like I'm always looking at long plus a little bit to see where I'm going to end up moving, not like 4 attacks. And so it's going to be interesting. And when's the timing on placing it? Is it after you move? The ignition token.
So the rules in the booklet is after a ship ends its activation, it can place an ignition token. However, there's an upgrade card called Cataclysm that at the start of its activation, it can place an ignition token in one of its ignition areas. And so the new hotness for the people who don't know, an Onager, another name for it is Donkey. So we just call it the Donkey. It wants to kick at long range and hit people. So a tactic right now with the Onager for people who've been just messing around with it on Vassal with what rules we have available, essentially is moving it with like Officer Ozzel forward, and it can hit anything. It doesn't matter where you deploy, it will hit you anywhere from doing that. And it's just very powerful. It's very strong. A lot of people also like to run Intel Officer. But I had a game where I was running a Star Destroyer, and I couldn't manage to avoid the close range of the ignition token. It took 4 reds, 4 blacks. It did something like 14 damage in accuracy.
Dang.
And that shot and then something else just blew up my ISD in pretty much 1 round, and there's nothing I could do about it. So it's going to drastically change the meta. You will no longer be able to take lists that want to just sit in place and slow roll, because if you get matched against an Onager, it's going to blow you apart. Like 2-ship is not going to be existent after this anymore. No more price 2-ship, because it's such a dangerous play style now to just sit and wait. And it's going to encourage more aggressive play, which I definitely feel like the meta needs more of.
Right.
I mean, have you had any experiences of just frustrating lists that just sit and don't do anything?
Not with that list. But I mean, yeah, I've played other stuff where it just castles up and it's like, all right, come here. And that you have to play a little more cagey. You've got to just kind of wait your time and then snipe something off at the end, or wait for a misplay, like they come too far forward, something like that. They run over a squad that they shouldn't have run over, and now it's at the back end as opposed to right where they need it.
Right.
Little things like that.
So are you excited for Clone Wars coming out?
Absolutely.
Do you think you're gonna want to play in the new factions?
Mm-hmm. Republic sounds awesome. I am pumped for whenever or wherever General Obi-Wan comes on. He's my favorite from the Clone Wars, and so I'm excited to see what he can do and what the new ships will be.
I'm also very excited for Clone Wars. I've heard rumors. I just know it's just gonna be really awesome. Just my biggest hope is that again, it's on time. FFG has not had a great track record for being on time, but they do still put their products out.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions. Is there anything else you wanted to point out about anything that you played while you're here or the tournament at all?
I played a fun Kraken list that was the most like chess matchy of it all because it was just always obstructed, and so my max damage was never going to actually happen. And so being able to play and like actually set traps instead of just run in and punch stuff, that was a ton of fun. I really liked playing Nicholas's list. Like it was just a roll of the dice whether or not he was going to win or I was going to win, and so that's always fun. Like you played well and he played well, and it was just a coin flip. I think that's it. Everybody was great to play against, as everyone always says with Armada. But
All right. Well, are you planning to go to Worlds then?
oh yeah,
Hell
already
yeah.
got tickets, got a room.
Tickets, room, the whole
Bloomington,
shebang.
Indiana's going to represent. I'm bringing the whole crew.
All right. Well, I'll see you at Adepticon.
Yeah.
And congratulations again on the win, guys. We're going to go ahead and shut this down. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all later.
Thank you.